Welcome back everyone to our continuing adventures on the Let's Defend platform. Today we are tackling the March challenge that was released of PDFURI. Backstory, our friend Dee was looking for a job in Tanta, but it seems she was hacked by one of the malicious websites. Can you examine her hard drive and find some evidence? We get file location, so apparently we get a Windows system with, Windows subsystem for Linux. So you can have Linux on your Windows 10 and up device. So let's see, we need the MD5 hash malicious document, the domain from which the document was downloaded, the email address of the victim, command that was executed by the malicious document, and the PC username being changed from one name to another. So let's swap quickly. And bring that up. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Kinda ginormous. Alright, so we'll transition that in. I realize it's going to be probably a little bit difficult to see, but effectively we get the Windows system, we've got the Windows subsystem for Linux down here, it looks like Ubuntu. We get tools and we get challenge file. Challenge file is exactly where it said it would be. And we're given registry viewer, PDF stream dumper, hash calc, DB browser for SQLite, access data FTK imager, registry explorer, and hash my files. And in untypical, I am just going to go entirely off the metaphorical reservation on this. I know, giant shock. Nobody's seen this one coming. Not that there's anything wrong with using the system here, but if I can sit there and use my own local resources, I'm going to try. I mean, I don't have any hard requirements that I absolutely have to use any of this, thankfully. So while that's coming down, let's take a look at the PDF URI. Open it up inside a 7-zip. And we just get a .001 file, which would make sense. Because it would be what, 001? We would expect an E01, a raw. I feel like there's another one that I'm forgetting. Typically, it would be format that would be used with FTK Imager. And since I've already got the latest version installed on my local box, I might as well just go through that. So let's see, we do image mounting. We specify the 001 file that I dumped onto the desktop. How big is that? A gig. Yeah, it's no fuss, no muss. And then we get a D drive. So if we come back to this, we go computer, we see D drive, and we see a typical Windows box. So the typical aspect is if something's going to come down, we are going to expect something on either one of the three major folders: desktop, documents, or downloads. Wow, look at that. We have a application.pdf. Now, granted, it's the only thing that's here. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's malicious, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not. All right, so if we open up HashCalc, we take the application, we just dump it there. We get all the typical good things. So we got an MD5. We don't know for a fact that it is actually malicious. So we're going to switch back to here. Oops. Take that to 133 to try to make it a little bit easier. And print up the MD5 in here. No, we have the file, so why wouldn't we submit the file? Because the aspect that, what if we're entirely wrong in regards to this? What if the PDF actually ends up being loaded with a bunch of confidential information? Well, then we would have to turn around and we would have to try to ask Google/Alphabet, since they're the ones who own VirusTotal, see about having it taken down. I mean, if you accidentally uploaded a tax return document that was dumped as a PDF, with your social security number, again, more focused on the US side of things, but personal identifiable information would be there. You wouldn't be overly happy. So is there anything that basically stands out? No engines pick up on anything here. Apparently I hit something a little bit too fast. So let's see, it reaches out to some Adobe domains. We see, well, interestingly enough, contacted IP address 8.8.8.8. We get a bunch of dropped files. Looks like this was run through Sandbox. So I'm wondering as to whether or not there's going to be like a link or something else that's in here. Or is this just to throw us off the trail? Matches the change PowerShell policies to an insecure level. Well, no, that's an interesting thing to see in a PDF. Oh. Page cuts off. It could be just the fact of where I'm running this thing through. Telemetry, community. Okay, well, we found a copy and we have an MD5. So I guess let's just throw caution to the wind and say F it. Okay, we found it. Now, realistically, if this was a full-on, you're just given the thing and it's more figure out what happened, you're not going to get, direct answers to something like this. But we have it, so let's use it. Extract the documents from the disk. Yeah, we did that. What is the domain from which the document was downloaded? So that is going to be our DB browser from SQLite. And since it was downloaded into work, we can assume that it's probably Chrome that would have been used. And that is, if I remember correctly, typical, so C users username. App data, local Google. I don't see Google. Okay, what if it was roaming instead? No. Well, cheeky breaky. So we are dealing with using um, maybe Edge, user data, default because it's now Chromium. Um, and then typically there's like a history. Are we showing all files or are we not? Yeah, supposedly we are. Oh, apologies. So I'm digging through the folder structure trying to find what I'm looking for. So if we go back and take a look, we do a Google search for Microsoft Edge, history, file, location. And yes, I'm doing this on a browser that's not directly tied into that. Where is it stored? Should be C users, user, app data, local, Microsoft Edge, user data, default, history. Local, Microsoft Edge, user data, default. I don't see history though. Right? I mean, I'm not. Oh, dear Lord. It's there. I just haven't had my coffee yet. Had to scroll down. I'm not used to working inside of a window inside of a window like this. So if we take history, we drag and drop into the DB browser for SQLite, and we just make that bigger. We go browse data, and we change the table to downloads. Really? URLs? Hmm. Oh, right there. 403 forbidden. Switch Windows 10 to local account. Google looking for job in Egypt. 3am al.com job vacancy search takes to a careerjet.com.eg. Jobs in Kefel Shelek. I'm probably butchering that. Matter of fact, I know I probably am. We get free job in dash graph Elkashek. And it basically takes us to it points to application.pdf, but they're not asking for. So then effectively our answer that we're going to look for is this www free job in dash kafr dash elsiekh.org. Now we need the email address of the victim. course it is, because that's exactly what they asked. And so what I'm trying to do is just taking a look at the URL to see as to whether or not if I can find anything that makes mention of the email address. Not so much. Google, check domains, continue. I don't know if my PC's been hacked. Free antivirus. Uh, okay, what if we look outside of history? And if it were to have cookies, it would be a folder called cookies underneath default. And I don't see cookies, because then we could just basically open that up and take a look. Yep, so I don't think we're going to find anything that's going to be actually useful, unfortunately. I was hoping that maybe, just maybe, might be able to pull it out. That's the search. But I don't see any sort of reference to a Gmail. And it could be something stored locally. H key current user software Microsoft. Okay. So let's see as to whether or not if it would be something that would have been stored in the browser. But that would actually be in the registry. So what is it? D drive, Windows. And it should be in... Okay, where's the tools? I'm pretty sure Registry Explorer was in there. Yep. We're just gonna copy them all in. Maybe. Let me guess. Yeah, load hive. And then we go D drive and Windows and System 32 and config. And say, screw you, I'm taking it all. Might be able to make it a little bit bigger. Not by much, though. Okay, so we are looking for HK current user software. Wait. This would be underneath the work user, so... I thought there was a separate portion for that to be dumped. So Windows current version credentials. Hmm. Thought there was a separate file that would be. That it would be separate per each user. And it should be. Right? Or am I just entirely out of my gourd? Which I mean is entirely possible. No coffee. Yeah, 'cause shouldn't that be ntuser.dat? Really? Alright, so we might not be getting that then. Alright. Okay, so I checked the hint. Check the login data. And which jarred my memory enough that inside for the default folder for Chromium browsers, there should be a login data folder or file that you would open up in DB browser for SQLite. So that would be in this particular case, C users work app data local Microsoft Edge. Default or user data default. User data default, and then if we scroll down, show me all files, there's login data. And it spits it out for us. So let's see if that actually works. So sl3awy@gmail.com. Yes. Okay, now we need to figure out what command is executed by the malicious document. And for that, since we know for a fact that it is indeed the malicious document confirmed by the MD5 hash, even though VirusTotal doesn't seem to have or want to say boo about it, we're going to go back to the tools folder, and we should have, yep, PDF stream dumper. And we're going to load PDF file. So, well, in this particular case, D users work downloads application.pdf. what's all this then? Looks like it's trying to run a bunch of stuff, but then we end up with base 64. So let's cook it. Ding, fries are done. No item property path, H key current user environment. Name, secret flow, value, sorry, but in sorry, but in something this money? Oh, I need this money. I'm willing to bet that's not the actual string they're looking for. How about PowerShell space dash encoded command and then the base 64? Buy that. Sorry. So basically just loaded it up in the application of PDF in the PDF streamer and basically just took a look through the various objects till we run up to this. That looks like that would be about what we're expecting to see. So if we capture that, come back, and they want a space. So that space would reside past encoded command. Seems the PC username was changed to another one. Can you identify the new username? Look for it inside of Sam. Well, oops. I didn't take the window down. So yes, the PowerShell space encoded command space TMV3LU blah 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 ending in the double equal sign was correct. So we are now looking for Alright, so Sam would be another one of the registry hives that we grabbed. And took a look at. Actually, no, we didn't really take a look at, did we? So, let's go ahead and pull that back up. So what do we see? We see names have changed. So in this particular case, because it's mounted as D drive, D Windows System 32 config SAM, root SAM domains, account, users. And if we take a look, okay, we see administrator, default user, or default account, guest, We see SL3AWY. And we also see that default user 0 has been removed. Well, given the fact that the hint that they offer let me move the window over. So the window, or the number of asterisks, tell us a tale. We don't see work in this list, but we do see default user 0 was removed. But it looks like we're looking for something that's, what, 2, 4, 6 characters? Which that SL3AWY, which is the same thing as the @Gmail, is also there, but not there. So SL3AWY. It looks like that one would have been replaced with work. And there we go. Not a bad challenge. One I didn't even actually have to sit there and move all that stuff over and copy to sit there and rip apart. Although using if you can, especially on a Windows device, I highly recommend doing the problem or troubleshooting or problems connecting. So that way you get the IP address, the username and password, and especially for the Windows boxes, you just connect with the remote desktop tool, which is exactly how I've been doing this. It seems like it works that much better than the VNC that's built into the web browser that goes through. But at least there's that. So there we go. That is the completion of PDFURI from what they've given us. Didn't even have to use WSL. And actually just use the tools that they had, because honestly it would have been the same thing. I might have potentially taken, if I didn't want to use the PDF streamer, and tried to use the Remnox Linux distribution to try to rip that apart to see if anything else could come out of it. But there we go. All done. Only 5 questions. I was thinking it was going to take longer, but given the fact I haven't had any coffee this morning, I'm not really going to complain. But so there we go. There's another challenge in the books, as it were, metaphorically. And with all that being said, I will see everybody in the next video.